is that after making a mistake, we need to face up to it. We need to tell the truth. That is integrity, telling the truth and honoring promises no matter the consequences.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Oh, tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way. I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me a god. 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 I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. Wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me. Put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grave 6 feet like Kenny. Call me a god. Call me a god. Call me a god.
I'm called of God. Called of God. And Tim Ballard told me he'd been called of God. Some wild-eyed prophet like...
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you.
I hit all the buttons. Hello, everybody. How's it going? How are you doing? Top of this Sunday to you. Are y'all freezing? Is it freezing where you're at? Is it snowing? I'm hot. It's not hot outside, though. Yes, it is. It's 64 damn degrees. It ain't cold. Anyway, so good to see you guys here, as usual. So today we're going to talk about John Pryor, how he withdrew from, or he motioned to withdraw from Chad Daybell's case. Whatever. I have my thoughts. And, you know, Jason came up, he always comes up with the spunky, I don't know, just these whoosh, out of the nowhere ways to prosecute or to kind of wiggle around it. And he's like, okay. And I mean, so I don't see this as being realistic. So just hypothetically, he was like, what the prosecution could do is just remove the case for Tammy against Chad. He was like, just remove that without prejudice or with prejudice. He was like, try the case as a conspiracy case, nail his ass, and then bring Tammy's back up and then DP his ass. I was like, that's a lot of mental gymnastics. But anyway, so, you know, there's always, where there's a will, there is a way. And so just know that this does not mean that Chad is going to not face the Pied Piper. I mean, he is going to. He has been in jail. He has been away from his life. I was going to say lavish life, but you know, still it's lavish compared to Tammy, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe, to be honest. He gets to breathe. So there you go. He's already winning. And there's that. But yeah, he's not a stand-up dude, but it is what it is. And anyway, so whenever KJ's going to join me. And so whenever she comes on, I'll bring her up. And yeah, what I was going to do, but I ran out of time. Because sometimes I don't know how to handle, I don't know exactly how to go about these things. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just here, just like you guys, going, what? But it just, at first, my moderators, we have a group chat, a group text and just regular on your phone text. And, there's conversation going all the time. But I had missed calls from Detective's daughter. I had missed calls from Donna. And I was like, uh-oh, I'm like, what? I freeze. And I was like, oh my God. I was thinking, like, when I was kind of reading the text thread to kind of figure out what was going on. And they said, no, the thought that went across my mind was, oh shit, I bet you he's incompetent. That's what went through my mind. I did not at all see this happening. Although with John Pryor wanting to withdraw, it seems like a power play. And I mean, a last ditch effort, whatever you want to call it. It just seems like I really think he's advocating for his client. No, we don't like his client. I don't like his client. But I gotta say, out of all, with Lori and all that went on with her case in Idaho, I mean, I would pick John Pryor to be my attorney. If I had to pick out of all of them, who would I pick? That kind of thing. Because he seems to be advocating, right? So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I like the dude. I don't like Chad, and I don't like what Chad did. So it is what it is. There were times whenever, like, Mark Means was trying to call the church basic to the mat. Like, he was like, come on with it. And instead, he got his ass served to him on a platter. And so I got to say, there's part of me that's pro what Mark Means did. There's part of me, because I want the truth. I don't care how you got to get it. Just, I want the damn truth. That's what is going to tell the story of the victims. Not, let's say, a church navigating the whole damn thing, driving it. And I mean, there's supposed to be a separation of church and state. However, I don't feel that here. I don't see that here. And anyways, so that's how I feel about that. But what they did was they threw a gag order on him, had him replaced with two death penalty certified attorneys. One, neither of them are post conviction, so I know that. So that was Thomas and Archibald, and it just kind of came in at the weirdest time, and that to me is sus. So what we're gonna do whenever we go on our other live streams, Tuesdays and Thursdays, diving deeper into Chad Daybell's case, going over things that have already come out, things that have already transpired, that are already on record, that things were said, and it's part of the record. Jason said, "So what do y'all think of my idea?" It's an option. But anyways, so yeah, we the cat lady, she sent me The Lawyer, which I do enjoy his take on things. I like watching a lot of people and seeing what their take is. I haven't seen Scott's yet though, so I haven't watched Scott Reich. I looked for him. Hey girl, you're on.
Oh, hey,
I'm glad you're on camera.
I
There
thought,
we go.
no.
Do what?
I said, I thought she was going to let me know. I'm sitting here looking for my lighter.
Well, I told Donna, I was like, well, KJ's going to join us. So whenever I'm, done with my, whatever my intro is, I don't really have an intro, but whatever. I do want to, can I share this with y'all real quick?
Sorry,
So y'all,
KJ. Blew you right up on there. Sorry.
Problem at all. Just glad to be here.
You're fired, Donna. I'm just picking. Please. Oh my God. I don't know what I would do without y'all, without these mods and then Donna and, well, you know what I mean. And you. All right. Yeah, I know you don't like the fuss, but let me show y'all this real quick. Or wait, it didn't upload. What the hell? Oh yeah, it did. Okay. All right. Ready? And so while I was scrolling down this ex-Mormon Reddit thread, I ran into this picture of Tim and I was like, what the hell is wrong with his face? And he actually posted it. But this is what I found.
I shorted.
Where'd you shart?
In my pants.
You sure? You know what a shart is? Tell me what a shart is.
You think it's a rooter tube, but it is a rooter tube, but the rooter tube goes out and it splats.
Anyways, I thought that was so cute or funny, and because of the way Tim looked, his face was just like, and it's a picture that he posted of himself, and I was just like, why would you post a picture of yourself looking like that? That's weird. And anyways, and then I followed that Reddit thread, and people will leave links, and so I clicked on the link, and that's where it brought me, and I was like, oh my God, it does look like he shat. Looks like he shat himself, and so, anyways. That's how that combined. KJ was like looking really close, and I'm like, it's nothing. It's just funny. Anyway, supposed to make you laugh. But okay, well, let's see. What do you want to talk about first? I know you have some things on your mind. What do I need to pull up is what I'm asking.
Well, what do you think about pulling up what Judge Boyce's options are?
Which is, well, where would I pull that up at?
Look in Idaho law, and you can find out whether or not he is going, because I got a clue in on this. At the bottom of Chad Daybell's files in his thing, John Pryor filed his notice of withdrawal under seal.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Boyce came back and unsealed it. And I think that was kind of a clue to me that Judge Boyce is a little pissy right now.
Yeah. There's one thing that I didn't notice, and I don't know if y'all did. I don't know if it says anything. You know how we read into these things, but it was the fact that the hearing was supposed to be January 30th, but it's been scheduled for what, January 19th or 8th? I don't even know. But what threw me, or kind of raised the flag to me, was that Judge Boyce scheduled it for earlier. So I was like, okay, maybe they're just like, okay, we're gonna grab this bull by the horns and put this baby to bed. So to me it seems confident, whereas not so much scurrying. That's what that tells me. Maybe y'all might read something else into it. I don't know.
I just think that John Pryor, what he's listed down there, if there was something he says, well, I can't do this or that, well, there's an answer to that, and Judge Boyce could get him more help. But then he also has other problems. One of them being, are they even going to find a death penalty certified attorney, even as John Pryor stayed on? And then, he just, it's one thing that you think, well, we can handle that. But then he starts talking about other things pertaining to it all. And it just seems like, we've all threw this around, but I think his major sticking point is the death penalty. If that death penalty got taken off the table, then how, if he still is belly aching about not being ready and stuff after he told everyone he's been ready a lot of times.
Every time, right? That's what I was going to do. I was going to compile a video of all the times John Pryor especially since January of last year, said that he was ready. And may I be excused, Judge? May I be freaking excused? He never, at the end of the court hearing, nothing to raise. But I mean, if they did this all under seal, I mean, how are we supposed to freaking know? You know, it's like trying to find something in the damn dark.
Well, he did try to, he didn't really do it under seal when it came to his first notice of alibi.
Mm-hmm.
But it did go through a service that goes directly to the state, which you might as well say it's private, right?
Might as well.
That was January the 3rd of last year. And then he goes through the hooker's trial through the year. And by
I
December,
saw him myself. Sitting right there.
did notice of alibi. That's what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he's going to amend the notice of alibi.
I mean, yeah, accordingly, right? To fit his. Isn't that what that means? Like because I don't speak legal. I don't. I try to understand it. I asked Jason one not too long ago. I was like, if you could pick a career for me to go to, like, what should I go to school for? He was like, and I was like, be serious. He was like, not a paralegal. I was like, what? Are you freaking kidding me? But he was like, from all the research you like to do, he's like that. Anyways, I was just like, that threw me big time.
I guess the question is we can read it in the document that Chad Daybell wants these death certified attorneys and all this and that, but and we could put our little, suspicions around it and all this and that, but ultimately this guy, even if he gets these death penalty certified attorneys, they can't be much better than what Archie and Thomas gave Lori. I mean, they gave her the minimal representation, and it
I
was.
know.
And
you think so too?
do what?
I said, you think so too?
Yeah, and I don't think that they're going to have any kind of zealousness like John Pryor has.
Right.
I guess
I agree.
The disappointment about it all is I really wanted to see him chew the cult members.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. There's part of me that's like, I'm pro that, because that's something the prosecution has not done. They have tiptoed around it, and I understand and I get it now, but I really did not get it when this started and through this process. Only as we've progressed through this have I learned how, yes, there are some blurred lines between church and state, but when it comes down to it, you cannot combine the two, or you got to be really careful, because it's riding a fine line between violating someone's constitutional rights. And anyway, so that was a big learning hook for me, was just like, well, they're doing it, but how come, like, it's not happening in the courtroom? I always wondered how in the hell the prosecution was going to dance around the fact that they're defending their own religion pretty much for the most part. But then they're having to make it minimize it to just Chad and Lori, their beliefs. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, how in the hell are they going to do this? And they did a fine job, I gotta say. And that's what it's all about. They are there to have a conviction.
Well, I kind of listened to Nate Eaton, and he was talking about.
Yeah, you want me to bring that up?
Yeah, bring it up, because I think it's important, because he does make some points on it, specifically about the point that even if he gets the new attorneys and all that, it's not going to be till next year before he'd get tried.
Right.
But if they kept John Pryor on and got him on, just all these different things, that these options that Nate's talking about, it's pathetic and it's sad, but I understand why John Pryor had to do that, but it's not going to keep his serial killer client alive much longer.
Right.
I guess If everybody wanted to get lazy about it, maybe the state would get lazy about it and say, okay, we'll take the death penalty off the table. But then John Pryor would say, I'm out of money and I can't effectively do this. And even if I work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I couldn't get this done. He's been saying this from day one.
Yeah.
So he's got himself in a position in his document there that it isn't just one thing. And then you tack on that, not just about John Pryor. Now John Pryor's saying that Chad Daybell wants these two attorneys.
Yeah. So it's like they've already come to agreement or whatever. That's what I got from that too. Okay, I'm gonna play this short clip of Nate Eaton on Chad Daybell. It's probably gonna play an ad.
Kelly Canyon Resort has been proud to call the band.
Gotta love the ads, you know. So beautiful. So beautiful. But anyways, welcome everybody for being here. I'm glad y'all are here.
Yeah.
Okay, let me
Good evening, everybody. Nate Eaton here in the EastIdahoNews.com newsroom. Some breaking news today in the Chad Daybell case. His attorney, John Pryor, is asking to withdraw. He filed a motion basically saying that his client, Chad, can no longer pay him and that Chad needs a death penalty qualified attorney. So this is called a motion to withdraw. John Pryor has been Chad's attorney since May of 2021. So over 2 years, almost 3 years this May. And he has been at every court hearing by himself, sole counsel. John Pryor is not death penalty qualified. He's never done a death penalty case. And in Idaho, if you are an attorney, you need to be death penalty qualified. And John Pryor is not. But he was independently hired by Chad. So
Tammy.
one could assume that because Chad Daybell chose him to be his attorney, that was Chad's decision. You know, Vallow Daybell's attorneys, Jim Archibald and John Thomas, they are both death penalty qualified attorneys, and they were appointed to her case, but death penalty ended up coming off the table. But you can read all about that. The big news today, John Pryor saying that he's represented Chad Daybell since day one in this case. After speaking with Mr. Daybell, I have confirmed he is unable to pay any additional funds, and he believes it would be a disservice for me, John Pryor, to continue to represent him in a capital case and trial without compensation. He seeks the appointment of 2 capital qualified attorneys to represent him in this matter. I convinced an attorney from the Boise area to petition to become capital qualified. However, the process, even after a significant amount of time, has not been approved by the Public Defense Commission. So Pryor saying he went to an attorney in Boise and said, you need to get death penalty qualified. This attorney tried, and he has not been approved by the Public Defense Commission. The time to have meaningful assistance by co-counsel has long passed. Then Pryor says, at the present time, even assuming I work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I could not complete all the tasks necessary to represent Mr. Daybell in this matter. It's no secret or surprise that the Public Defense Commission lacks the necessary number of capital qualified attorneys in the state to effectively represent all of the needs of the state. Therefore, Mr. Daybell requests me to withdraw.
I'm going to go grab my
This
notes.
is a big request, considering that the trial is set to begin April 1st. That's, less than 3 months away in Boise, in Ada County. And this has been going on for so long. I mean, it was 4 years ago this month that I was in Hawaii when I first met Chad and Lori. I asked them where the children were. So this has been quite a lengthy process. Of course, Vallow Daybell was found guilty last year, I should say, and then sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole. So there will be a hearing next week where John Pryor will argue why he should be dismissed from the case. What could Boyce do? A number of things. He could say you need to stay on the case, although there could be appeal issues with that. If John Pryor has said, I'm not qualified to do this, then one would think that Chad Daybell could immediately appeal the verdict if he's found guilty, and then it goes all over again. I guess that they could take death penalty off the table, because then you don't have to worry about the capital issue. And then John Pryor stays on. But the other issue is he doesn't have money So then does John Pryor become appointed by the state to defend him and get money? That's the question. The other big thing in this motion is John Pryor says, I'm simply not ready. If I were to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 4 months straight, I still wouldn't be ready. He points to the fact that the prosecutors have 5 attorneys from 2 county offices hired at the taxpayer expense doing this. Remaining on the case would require me to work around the clock more than full time for 4 months without compensation. So it's an interesting timing decision here. Pryor has tried or has successfully delayed the case several times from going to trial because of DNA evidence and whatnot. And so now this is being filed. The other thing that Boyce does is he says, okay, we're letting you go. And then 2 new attorneys are appointed. If that happens, there is no way this trial will happen in April. Not a chance in the world. We'd be lucky if it happened this year. It probably would be 2025 if 2 new attorneys. The bigger question is who would be appointed. It would not be Jim Archibald or John Thomas, I don't believe, because they represented Lori in the conspiracy case. Lori would have to sign away her right to have them represent the Chad. Chad would have to, and it could just get complicated. There's only a few death penalty certified attorneys in the state. So you would have to find 2 more to take them. And at least one of them, probably 2, are on the Koberger case. So this is quite a quandary, quite a filing. We have the whole thing at eastidahonews.com if you want to go read it. Again, if you're just tuning in, Chad Daybell's attorney, John Pryor, has filed a motion to withdraw from the case, saying his attorney can no longer pay him, or his client, can no longer pay him, and that he is not death penalty qualified to represent him in a capital murder case. We'll see what happens. We are going to request permission or from the judge to stream the hearing, which I believe will be Thursday up in Madison or Fremont County. I'm hearing it might be in Madison this time. And we'll let you know what the judge decides and what the hearing goes from there. All right. Thanks for watching. Read all about it at eastidahonews.com.
I like what Robinette says right here. She says there's over 30 death penalty attorneys in Idaho. How many death penalty qualified attorneys does Idaho need? Obviously a lot, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, when they took the death penalty off.
I'm sorry. Let me close that. Okay. Sorry.
When they took the death penalty off the table for Lori, she shouldn't have kept those 2 qualified death penalty attorneys.
What did she need 2 for?
She wasn't death penalty anymore. What the freak did she?
Oh, yeah. Duh. Oh my God. Right. Wow. I didn't think about that one.
And also think about this. When Chad was deemed indigent back in January of 2023.
A year freaking ago, which we've been saying it forever.
Why who kept him from seeking death penalty certified attorneys?
Then why didn't he do it then? He's not. Oh, that's another thing. Jason, I wrote some notes. So, but that's one of the things. And he's like, we were listening. I'm going to show you this clip and then we'll go on my notes or, our thoughts or whatever. So let me go and present this screen. This is the Lawyer YouTube channel. And the cat lady sent me this. So thank you for that. And I wanted to welcome the new subscriber there. Let's see. But I'm already off that screen. Okay, here it is. All right, share. Let me make sure. Okay. All right. Now let me push play. I've kind of put it to where this one little clip area
on this case. And he cites ICR 44.1. Let's take a look at that real quick. All right. That says leave to withdraw. No attorney may withdraw as an attorney of record for any defendant in any criminal action without first obtaining leave and order of the court on notice to the prosecuting attorney and the defendant, except as provided in this rule. Leave to withdraw as attorney of record for a defendant, here's the important part, may be granted by the court for good cause. Meaning, you can't just leave You've got to show good cause as to why you need to leave. So let's now read the rest of the motion to see if John Pryor provides good cause to leave. Now, to contrast that, I guess now is probably a good time for me to just show you real quick what it says in the Middle District rules here in Florida in federal court. If withdraw, so this is a reason why you can't withdraw, right? Here's how you appear. Here's how you withdraw. To withdraw, you must notify each affected client 14 days before. You must file a motion that includes certification that the lawyer has provided 14 days notice. If the withdrawal will result in the person proceeding pro se, you need to put this information in there. The withdrawing lawyer, not the lawyer's firm or somebody else, but the actual lawyer has to file this motion to withdraw. And here is the reason you can withdraw, highlighted in purple. If withdrawal might cause the continuance of a trial, a lawyer cannot withdraw absent a compelling ethical problem, emergency, disability, or death. So the Florida federal courts take it to the next level, and we've experienced this. And here's the thing, we're going to talk about all this, but you can't just say, I'm out if it's going to continue the trial, which means it's going to prejudice the defendant. So no jurisdiction wants that to happen, but Florida takes an additional step to say, if that's going to happen, you can't. That's the rule. In order to get out now, you have to be an exception to the rule. Now, Idaho and other jurisdictions don't necessarily say that, even though they don't want to prejudice the defendant. They don't want to continue the trial. And some of the things that they say are a compelling enough reason is an ethical problem. That doesn't say money. An emergency, disability, or death. And I will just tell you from experience and from the case law, usually money does not give those factors. So what do you do as a lawyer, right? People don't usually feel bad for lawyers, and I understand that. I don't usually feel bad for lawyers. You know that going in.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know your jurisdiction. You have to know what they're going to allow and not allow. And in Florida and federal courts, you better get paid up front because you're probably not going to be able to withdraw later.
Money's not compelling.
So let's read some more of the motion. Let's see what he says about money and some other things.
That's just out.
Bring that back up.
Is Larry?
Right, here's Pryor's motion to withdraw. Let's continue.
Sorry. Is Larry?
Mr. Daybell retained undersigned counsel with personal funds. At a hearing on January 19, 2023, so about 2 years into his representation, the court inquired of Mr. Daybell and declared him indigent. So he's been indigent for almost exactly a year. Mr. Daybell does not have the ability to pay for counsel's continued services, and Mr. Daybell seeks the appointment of 2 capital qualified attorneys to represent him in this matter. So before we get to the capital qualified part, let's discuss personal funds not having enough money to be able to pay for continued services.
This really helped me wade through this.
Nobody feels bad for a lawyer. As I already said, most of the time, even the court does. And they're like, too bad, you don't get paid. We're not going to screw the defendant. Do your job, finish representing him. And that's all well and good. Especially if you get paid a flat fee up front saying, pay me $500,000 to represent you for this charge, whatever it is. Okay. $50, whatever it is, you decide as the lawyer and the client decides. If they pay that, you continue in finishing representing them.
Yeah.
But what if you take it on an hourly basis and somebody's paying you hourly? And let me give you an analogy to a non-lawyer, right? Let's say you work at any business. Let's say you work at an office and you make $20 an hour and your boss says, I'm going to stop paying you, but I want you to keep working. And somebody else, like a judge, says, you have to keep working at this office and not making that $20 an hour. Does that seem fair? I think everybody would say no to that. Doesn't seem fair. Now, it's different. Usually if you work at an office and that's your only job and that's your only sense of income or source of income, then to be able to work for free would literally put you at a detriment. But lawyers, most of the time, private lawyers, have lots of clients, not just one client that they're living off of and eating and paying for their family. So I understand the differences. So let's take it to kind of a higher level. Let's say construction. You pay a general contractor cost plus and they're billing you every, quarter, whatever it is, and you stop paying. Do you think they're going to keep building your house? For the most part, no. And usually they're not forced to if they have done the work that they have been paid for, right? You paid them for last quarter. They did last quarter's work. Sometimes you're even a month behind or a quarter behind where they've built another part of the house that you owe them money for and you don't pay them. Nobody's going to make them finish building that house, wasting their time and losing money to finish building the house. And that's not the only house they're building. That's not the only source of income for the most part. But lawyers are looked at differently. And the important part is lawyers should know that. We're not building a house. We're not punching in and out. We are representing people in some of the most difficult parts of their lives. And I will say this is different in criminal law. Usually criminal law is where judges will not let you withdraw just for money problems if you want to. And that is usually the rule. You say, Judge, I'm not making enough money on the eve of trial after multiple continuances, a year of representing him when he's been indigent. Now, all of a sudden, you want to withdraw? Are you trying to create problems in the case? Are you trying to create appellate problems? Are you trying to create another cause for a delay and a continuance? Are you trying to create issues for the defendant so that we'll get rid of the death penalty and circumvent the actual rules and arguments in case law? You better not be doing that. I've seen some questions about that. That better not be what Mr. Pryor doing. And I don't think that's what Mr. Pryor is doing because that would be unethical.
Right.
If you've hung around the case and you're using your withdrawal to create an appellate issue or force the court's hand to continue the case, that's not zealously representing your clients within the rules.
Correct. Anyway, so y'all go check. Let me grab the link real quick and copy it and give it to you guys so that you can go check them out and subscribe. And I mean, I like to get everybody's take. It's just interesting to me because I'm not a lawyer. I don't know law. Okay. But, and KJ, yeah, I'm about to bring her back up whenever she's ready. All right. You ready? Ready, Freddie?
Yeah, I'm ready, girl.
Okay. Oh,
I just see things that's kind of.
Oh, okay. I have the layout wrong. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. Looking through the case file, and near the bottom of the case file, it showed that John Pryor wanted his notice of withdrawal. He wanted it sealed, and then the judge looked at it and made it unsealed, and that's how we all got to look at it. He did not want anyone to know that he was withdrawing, but the judge wanted it out there. It's probably the last two files at the bottom of Chad Daybell's things. And the reason I bring this up is, make no mistake. I know when Judge Boyce heard this and he heard that John Pryor wanted this sealed, this motion to withdraw, I think Judge Boyce used his judicial power and he unsealed it so everybody would know what a damn asshole John Pryor is and how he's messed up this whole process. And I am not going to hold my breath that John Pryor is going to get the death penalty taken off the table. I just don't see that happening. The way I look at it is that if the state is really wants to do death penalty on Chad Daybell, they're gonna, whatever long time it's gonna take, they're just gonna continue on. And yeah, it's gonna be hurtful for you, Kresha, and the rest of your family. But the bottom line is I think Chad Daybell does need 2 death penalty certified attorneys for sure. It should have been given to him last year because
Automatically.
The moment that judge in that hearing said that Chad Daybell was indigent, John Pryor should have took him off to the side and said, Chad, you're indigent now. That means you can get 2 court-appointed certified death penalty attorneys.
Well, let me pull that up real quick. I have it pulled up. I mean, I just have to share my screen. But I'm going to show you guys this. It's interesting. Well, not this, but let me switch to the Capitol. The Capitol roster approved CLE list. Okay, so this is they're available as of 1/30/2023. So that's the latest they have, January 30th, 2023. And let's see. Well, oh hell, I'm in the wrong one, I think. All right, hold on. Let me go back. There's a roster. I thought this would be it. Okay. Let's see right here.
I think we need to keep in mind that when Lori wanted her speedy trial,
Mm-hmm.
I think that this whole bullshit about them getting away from the speedy trial, they were able to, malinger all this time and do all these things they were doing. I think if some decisions are made, it should be, yes, you're going to get death penalty certified trial, but you're going to do it within that 6 month mark of a speedy trial. That's what you're going to get, Chad Daybell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And then it's like he could plead, but I don't think he will. Some of the go ahead.
He's going to take it all the way.
Oh, you know what I have on here? It says the lawyer, and it says at 14:15. So let me go to 14:15 timestamp because I wrote that down. All right, so let me switch to that real quick.
Death penalty certified attorneys, yet John Pryor has continued to stay on this case.
Okay, wait.
Now, everybody's been saying this from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The court has warned him against this. The court has told Chad Daybell what his rights are. 2 court-appointed death penalty certified attorneys, yet John Pryor has continued to stay on this case.
Mm-hmm.
Now, somebody can be ruled indigent or declared indigent and still continue to pay a lawyer, have a dad pay or somebody else pay, a brother, somebody else foot the bill.
Your publishing
So just
company.
because he was declared indigent in January doesn't mean that John Pryor hasn't been getting paid since then.
He got paid.
Maybe the well has dried up at this point. It just seems strange to be making an argument that everybody's been warning Chad Daybell about the entire case.
Okay.
This motion is made with Mr. Daybell's full consent.
Let me stop that.
That's important.
Oh,
what does Mr. Daybell think about this?
That's it. Oh,
Mr. Daybell has requested from me that he be given 2 capital qualified attorneys for his trial. Now, here's an interesting question. When did he first make this request? Has he been making this request for a long time?
Yeah.
Why have you stayed on the case if this is a request he's making? I don't know those answers.
Right.
Maybe the request was made yesterday or the day before he filed this motion. I don't know. I have made a diligent effort to find a lawyer to assist in this matter for a significant amount of time. The attorney who I located.
Why didn't he go get certified? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you shifting another dude or trying to push another lawyer through? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what all the pre-qualifications you have to have.
Chad Daybell needs a chair. He needs a chair.
At this point, I'm right. And the whole death penalty thing, I really don't too much care. It's out of my hands. It's out of our hands. They committed a crime in the state that believes in the death penalty and allegedly imposes it, but they really don't. But
it is my understanding that Archie is the death penalty certified attorney and that Thomas is not.
Thomas is, but he's not. Okay, look, let me see. Let me go back to here. Because I remember going through this before, but I just have to kind of refamiliarize myself with it. See, you can lead, you can be the lead, you can be co-counsel. Then there's lead appeal post-conviction. Then there's co-counsel appeal post-conviction. So Thomas, let me see where he's at. Right here, John Thomas, he is got an X right here, which is this column, co-counsel trial. That's what he's certified in. And Archibald is certified in co-counsel and lead. All right. Now, see back over here, if you go lead, appeal, post-conviction, co-counsel, appeal, post-conviction, only Andrew or Scott J. Andrew is certified in all categories. So, and then like this attorney, Craig Durham, he's only certified in the latter 2 here. The latter 2 for Jonah Horwitz.
So there's different death
Yes.
certified attorneys, they all don't have the same exact training.
No, there's some that see, like, it was just like with Thomas and with Archibald. Thomas, he could co-counsel in a death penalty trial, but he cannot be the lead attorney. And that's the only thing he's certified in is to co-counsel in a trial, not even after, not post-conviction. Okay. Now, Archibald, right here, he is lead and he can be a co-counsel in a trial, but he is not certified after conviction. What's her name? Ann Thomas. She was available whenever this came up with Lori, the whole thing. That's when I came and looked at this a long time ago, because there were only 2 death penalty certified attorneys available at that time when Koberger stuff came out. And that was Ann Taylor. And I forget who the other one is, but, and I think she may have 2 death, there may be 2 death penalty. Y'all let me know. I don't follow the case that hard. But she's certified in lead and co-counsel pre-trial, to trial, and then nothing after. So you have Dave Smethers here, who is certified in all 4. You have, which, I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're not really looking at post-conviction right now. But like this person's Reed Smith, okay? They are only co-counsel, just like Thomas. Well, no, Thomas is co-counsel. No, that's Ann Taylor. I'm sorry. John Thomas and like that guy Smethers. No, not Smethers. Y'all don't listen to me. Anyways, so there's just so many, to pass around. And then these are the districts. I don't even know how that works, I don't have any idea how that works.
Well,
That's District 1, we're what? District, oh hell. What's the district that they're in? I don't remember. What Fremont County is in is the 3rd district? Do you know?
I thought it was 13th district.
Maybe. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I have no idea.
I wanted to read this. AKA the cat lady says, I don't think Pryor will be released either, though I think he's going to cause all kinds of other issues before the trial. He's slimy. And then you got says Archibald and Thomas can't represent Chad. Huge conflict of interest since they represented the hooker.
Oh, may I, right? And then Squeaky Will says Pryor is going to be gone on 1/18/24. How Boyce chooses to rectify this is left to be seen. You think so? I mean, that's interesting.
There is a good possibility that John Pryor will get this death penalty taken off the table for Chad.
And then, are we okay with that? And like, I don't know what Mom and Larry feel like. And if they're here, y'all are welcome to come on. I've been meaning to say that.
It's all about the victims' family members and what they think.
Yeah. I think it doesn't so much matter for Mom, but it does for Larry. And for me, I'm just like, whatever. As long as they do not get out, or if they let them out, keep them over there in your yard. Keep them over there in Idaho. That's just, I don't know. I mean, there's a chance that they could walk, but it is freaking slim. Slim. It would have to be a technicality. So that's reassuring to me. That's like, okay, just whatever this is, we have no say so. We can discuss it. We can think of different points of views, different ways of angling this, how strategizing, and that's cool. You learn a lot doing this. I do. I learn a lot from all you guys, for sure. But some of the things that I came up, or that, I wrote down, for what it's worth. Let me change this layout. Okay. So, I was going to seek clips and timestamps of videos, audio of Pryor provoking, bragging. He's ready for trial, right? May I be excused, Judge? When is there anything else you need to take up issue? Whatever might have been filed. I don't know. So with the lawyer, at 14:15, it says this motion was filed. Chad requests to have two death penalty. Okay, that's just me. Prior cannot sell Daybell. This is something that Beach Bum told me in our text chat. That I was like, Prior cannot sell Daybell property until after he's no longer on the case, as per Idaho law. So I was like, okay, well, just gives you something to think about. And then, because I was thinking maybe that was motive, like maybe he's wanting to sell the property or whatever, so he can. Or when do you sell the property? When is it going to peak? When is the murderer's property going to peak and be most valuable? Okay. Because that's money. That's something to think about. And
I say there's still demons of Chad in that house.
Hell yeah.
Amityville Horror, whoever buys it.
But there's even a show that I've seen on, I don't know. I cut the cord, yet I pay a lot of subscriptions. That's really shitty. But there's a show that refurbishes like Travis Alexander's house was flipped or whatever. And like when they pulled the carpet up, they go in and refurbish it, and then a new family can move in. And just like they have a show about murderers and where murderers occurred. And then I thought, well, would I even give a shit about Chad Daybell's property in his house had the kids not been found there? Would I even care? And there's just different things that I'm just like, probably not. I probably wouldn't care. But the fact that that's where they unearthed those babies, and that's where Tammy was killed. So I just don't think anything can thrive there. That's just me. If I had it my way, if I had money, I would go and buy the property. I would bulldoze it down, and I would get the solar panel energy, supplied, just lights, beacons of light, one purple, one blue, shining up to the heavens. And that would symbolize Tylee and JJ's light that nobody can extinguish. And that's all that would stand there. But it would probably be some kind of ordinance or something. It'd probably piss everybody off. But I mean, that's what I would do there. There's nothing I can see a family moving in there and having that schism, that grossness there, that evil, and that is bad. Anyways, okay, and then the trial is set, it's scheduled, it's planned out in Boise. They've got the manpower, they've got things that planned out, That's a lot of rigmarole, in my opinion. It's just you got to think about all these things. Oh yeah, here's Jason's theory. Okay, well, anyways, and then what death penalty qualified attorneys are even available? Maybe check into possession laws in Idaho. Not those kind of possession, but actual possession. Like over here in Louisiana, and I don't even know what this means, but 9/10 of the law here in Louisiana is possession. Like that's, I don't know, if you have it on your person or whatever, that's like you're liable for it. That's on you. So I just think that it's that has nothing to really do with this, but just something I want to check into. And then will the state drop death penalty to keep trial as scheduled? Would it keep the trial running? Yeah, it would. Right? And then he would stay on the case. That's what John Pryor says. Don't forget John Pryor used JJ and Tylee's remains as leverage to maybe bluff prosecution or, whatever, the state, to appear busy and actively paying experts just to not need their remains anymore. And then Chad signs off and releases their bodies at different times, still controlling the narrative, right? That pisses me off. I mean, so if we're looking at people, Chad through his attorney is okay. I mean, again, that's why we're here to begin with. We're looking at people who are okay with using dead children's remains as leverage. Okay. That makes my head want to spin. Anyways, and then just to get the trial severed, it's just like, I don't know. It just really does suck. I understand it's strategizing, but it's shitty. Very shitty strategy or strategize. It's just crappy. It's like I'm tired of not on my family's pain. Nope. Anyways, why Pryor had time to be present at why did Pryor have time to be present at Lori's trial? And he was there a lot of the time. He was there. He'd come and go, hours, maybe. He wasn't there every single day, but he was there enough of the day, every day, or, throughout the trial. So he could have been spending that time to effectively advocate and counsel his client all the way through, in my opinion. Is it a tactic? Is Pryor an advocate for Chad or a really big DICK head? I did write that. Except I spelled out DICK. Yeah. What would you do if you were in the same position as as both Chad and John Pryor? What would you do if it was you being defended? What would you do? I don't know. Somebody got their radio up really loud. Sorry. Are you okay? Are you frozen? What would you do? Yeah. Yeah. What would you do I know you wouldn't have committed these acts, but just for shits and giggles, what would you do if you were in what would you do? Honestly.
Well, it really comes down to the day that they ruled Chad Daybell indigent in January of 2023. At that moment, John Pryor should have took him in a room and sat down with him and said, listen, Chad, you've been deemed indigent. You have no more money. Statutorily speaking, you
didn't have it to begin with. Think about it. It was Tammy's blood money, which is really even gross. It's more gross.
Right. But
just throwing that in.
Probably telling him, you get this free of charge, these two attorneys, death penalty certified attorneys. But I don't know if that was the way they were really thinking. It would have been ethical and right of John Pryor to let him know those things. And in my view, if that did happen, Chad probably is like, no, I trust you that you're going to get the death penalty off the table. So why are we even talking about death penalty attorneys? He'd already gotten the severance of the case. And so, Chad really trusted John Pryor. And all this time, I was so stupid and ignorant and thinking all this year, we all knew he didn't have any, help.
We've been saying it. We've all been asking him, what the hell is he doing? I mean, I was like, maybe he's got some knee pads. I really don't know. Really don't care, but I kind of care. You know what I mean?
But in terms of Chad Daybell, I think that this is just an opinion. I think Archie Ball has talked Chad Daybell into getting the 2 death penalty certified.
Prior.
Yeah, I think he talked him into it. I don't think Chad came to him and said, I need 2 death penalty certified.
Yeah, he trusts John Pryor. That's his dad. That's what I say.
They put it off and they put it off as long as they could, knowing that that's probably where it was going to end, that he would get 2 death penalty certified attorneys, which would have made it more real to him.
Does it make this strategy, though? Does it make it a tactic?
It does to me, because he's gone all that long, not letting...
Even before they were severed.
doing? I mean,
before they were severed.
how many
Oh
times
my God.
through this whole case, whether Lori and Chad were together or severed or what, they both had the death penalty hanging over their head. How many times did Chad Daybell stand up in open court and say, "We're ready to go"?
A lot. It was taunting even. It was like, "I'm ready." The state was like, "We're not." And then they were ready, and then he was not. And then it's just all these little right hook, left hook, right hook, left hook. And then it's here we are at the next turn.
It's not like that he doesn't know who the witnesses are, the discovery, how it's going to be utilized in the trial, all of the same people and everything. I mean, he knows John Pryor's got a front row seat, and he's got a very thick transcript of every word ever said.
Yeah.
So,
and he's got people work with him. He's not by himself. But then you think, who in the hell referred Mark Means and John Pryor, who shared an office over there in Boise area? Who referred? Was it the first attorney, Sean Bartholick, that Chad Daybell had and Lori, his wife too? You know, she was represented too at that point in time. That was it though. And did he refer them to that office? And then so she, ends up with because there were 3 initial attorneys for Lori. There, Edwina something, and I don't even know who the other guy is. And then there was Mark Means, but then 2 of them withdrew. Okay. And then it was just Mark representing both Chad and Lori. Okay. Conflict of interest there. I remember that. And then, so then the bodies of the kids are located and retrieved on June 9, 2020. And then, so Chad's like, hello, they're searching the property. That's that weird, hey, babe, phone call, the weird one. Ugh, creepy. And of Lori calling from in jail to Chad at the right time, might I add. And they're searching the property, and he's like, "You might want to get a hold of Mark Means." So, I mean, is he just happened upon John Pryor, or I try to wonder, like, associations is I really like to. This person's associated here. This person's associated. That's kind of like I like to do that. I like to make associations.
Crash, if they take the death penalty off the table, who's going to pay John Pryor?
The state.
The state. So the judge could rule, okay, I'm going to take the death penalty off the table, and I'm going to get you, since your client is indigent, we're going to get, because a person that's not facing a death penalty case, they get public defenders. And maybe it won't be a lot of money for John Pryor, but it will be some, it'll be enough to where he can't say he can't do anything.
Right.
And
remember Mark Means came with his that takes me this many hours to travel. It takes me, you remember, it was like an itemized bill, so to speak, because whenever she filed indigent.
The possibility that the state there will hunt down a second chair for John Pryor.
Right. That's too, yes. It would be nice if Archibald and Thomas could step in, but it would be a conflict of interest.
If they take the death penalty case off, then it doesn't have to be a certified death penalty thing if he doesn't have the death penalty anymore. But the whole flip side is what Nate was saying. Okay, John Pryor, you want to withdraw? Okay, we're going to get 2 new ones. They get 2 new ones. They say it'll last a whole nother year, possibly.
Whatever, I guess. I mean, ugh, but damn.
To the murder and desecration of those children and the outright terrible betrayal and evilness of murdering his wife, he needs to sit on death row.
He's scared to die. He's scared to die, but he was okay allegedly, with inflicting that on for sure, almost maybe allegedly 3 people, 2 people that I love. And I think he really should be indicted in freaking Arizona, but whatever. I mean, it wasn't all on one's own. It was a concerted effort, and those 2 should have never been joined, united, matched up, paired, in my opinion. But whatever. Then so NF mom right here says, as soon as that eviction notice hits the door, somebody is going to start talking, right? Yeah. Oh, Emma. Yeah. I'm telling you, when I went with in April of 2021, when the hooker was allegedly competent, I don't think she was ever incompetent, but that's neither here nor there, right? And so I went to that hearing in April of 2021. So Jen and Michelle had drove up, and we went to the fence, the memorial fence, which is now across the street from the side of Chad Daybell's house. And anyway, so Jen had made a beautiful wreath, and so we were just kind of tending to that, and I was just kind of take it all in, you just take it all in. It was windy as all get out. But Joseph Murray came outside. And so I was just like, I'm a smart ass. That's what I do. But anyway, so he starts doing this, and I'm just like, I don't know I doubt he could see that it was me. I doubt it. I'm kind of chunky now. But I'm just saying, it was just weird. I was just like, back at you. I mean, ain't nobody being like that. You know what I mean? Nobody was being like that. And it's just childish. And anyways, that told me all I needed to know about that. What's the point in being a fucking bully? What is the point? What do you get out of that? What gratification do you get out of that? Control, need for control.
Well, you got to keep in mind who his father is.
His father-in-law. Yeah. Yeah. So I was also, after, what was it? After the lawyer, came on, I have it set to autoplay on my TV, and Jason had left earlier, and it brought up Melanie Gibbs' preliminary hearing. And so I noticed, and I was like, okay, let me mute. Let me unmute it, because I was editing a video that I need to upload as soon as we get off here. But anyway, so just something kind of caught me, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't really realize this. But Melanie Gibb is, talking about how she met Lori. And I got to thinking about it. She was teaching a class, and I'm like, she's the teacher. She's the teacher here. I mean, I don't know. It's just something to think about. It just kind of caught me, and I'm like, there's nobody else out of this whole group of people that were home teachers for the church, or you know what I mean? They have home visiting teachers or whatever. I don't think they have the plan anymore. Whatever. I don't care. They did, and she was. And the class that Lori and Melanie Pulowski were both present for. And I just started to think, like, I really wonder because you want to know where this idea originated from. And it did not originate with Chad and Lori. I'm just saying, because it's still going. And I don't think it originated with even Tom Harrison. I don't think that, I mean, it's wild and bizarre, and it's bullshit. So it's like, you just kind of want, I don't know. I want to find out what yeah, Laura, she is. Yeah. She was a follower of Chad. I don't think she was a follower of Chad, though. I think that Melanie, because David Warwick, you got to think about this. David Warwick was real chummy with Tom Harrison before the Firm Foundation, the Preparing of People events even were thought of. He was there with Avraham Gigliotti, David Warwick, Tom Harrison. We've got the screenshots. And it's just, it just goes with it, makes me question everything. It really does, because I want to get to the root of the problem. It's important too, because it doesn't, it's not stopped. Jason, he's jingling around. I've got the door open. I usually have my door shut. No, he can't ever hear me. He's like, I'm coming. I didn't call you. Hey, will you shut the door if you're gonna jingle in there?
Okay, I'm ready to give my
You're gonna give us your prediction?
yeah.
We'll go for it. You got the stage. I'm backing out.
When I was thinking about the question, why did Pryor stay on a year after indigency? Why couldn't he help get Chad a certified attorney? That would be the moral and ethically thing to do. I think that John Pryor wants to stay on this case. I think that John Pryor is blowing smoke out his ass about he can't handle anything. I do believe he can. This is what I think is going to happen. I think the judge is going to have a hearing. The state, and this won't be a complete prediction because I'm waiting on the state's response, but I think the judge is going to make John Pryor stay, and they're going to get him a court-appointed attorney that's certified to help him along. And because if no one knows as much as he knows, and he says not one word in his paperwork about ineffective assistance of counsel. He does bring up that the state has these heavy hitters and have all this manpower, but that's beside the point. And just as that gentleman you was listening to, it's really hard to get off of a case. But if he does get off the case, it will be because it is a death penalty case. But with that said, I have this really deep gut feeling that they're going to take the death penalty off of the case. And it'll be John Pryor, and they'll have another one come in and help him.
I think so too. That would be the most logical. It would really just solve, because he has to have one. He's indigent. He's broke.
Well, it ain't just that. It's a judge is not going to want to set up a precedent.
True. I don't know. They've been doing it for all kinds of other things. Joking.
They're not going to want it, because any defense attorney can say, I'm running out of money or something like that. That doesn't give them a way out.
Right.
It's got to be really extraordinary circumstances.
Health concerns, your family, like yeah.
If he's considering extraordinary circumstances being on a death penalty case without a death penalty qualified attorney, then Judge Boyce can make that happen.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's something to really think about. Like, I find it is interesting. It's interesting as all get out. I know this is more your wheelhouse, like you're all about this side of things. I'm more philosophical. I like to understand it.
I just don't see Judge Boyce saying, okay, you got a motion to withdraw. Okay, see you later. Bye. I just don't see that.
Yeah. Smell you later.
Because Judge Boyce already understands what his game is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
And I think the state is so bared down on this death penalty case that they wouldn't consider taking the death penalty off the case.
But, and just do life without parole.
Right.
And then just be done with it. That just get it going. To me, it's just like an aggravator. And I mean, I understand But how I look at it is, if you are my attorney, I don't care what it's for. I don't care what the hell I did. But if my, it could be a potential life sentence. And I want the state needs to act like this too. Whatever, the court system, the justice system. You better act like it's a death penalty case. You know what I mean? Like, without it even being an issue, take it off. I mean, just pretend it don't exist. I'm just saying, you should be advocating, representing me like it is a death penalty. Don't act like it's different. It ain't. It's really not with the way the judicial system and the prison system, all that. No, it's all broken. So it's hard to work with a bunch of broken pieces and trying to make something out of it, you know? And then you got a loophole here and then a loophole there, and it's just stupid. I'm not a fan. But I don't think it's because I mean, still, you're gonna die there. You're gonna die there. So you better act like it is the death penalty or whatever. Go with that same effort. But that's just me. That's just how, I don't know. I thought about that, and I was telling Jason that last night, and I forget even how I explained it to him. But I was like, or just make it to where you don't have to have a special certification to be death penalty certified. That would solve some things. Where you just go to school and you're a lawyer. You don't have this much lawyership. You don't have that, whatever it's called. I'm making stuff up. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just different. I mean, the same. Make it the same. Just make it the same. Uniform.
So how are you gonna handle if they have to push this trial back?
Don't have a choice. Same way we've been handling everything else. Same damn way. We've had absolutely no say so in any of this. Think about it. We're just here and just rolling with the punches like we normally do, like we had to do this whole time. And so it's no different to me. Honestly, I'm just being honest with you. I wish I could say that. I mean, again, I feel like Chad and Lori are both going to die in prison anyways. She was handed, 3 life sentences without parole. So, and then now she's in Arizona facing those. And then Chad, it's the same difference to me. It don't matter. It don't, either way, they're gone.
Well,
not on the streets.
Motion here this Thursday. So
we will be here.
All you praying people, let's all pray that the best thing, whatever God decides, it's perfect. It might not line up with what we think perfect is, but God's will is perfect. And I'm very disappointed for y'all and your family. I wanted to see this come through for y'all. And every time in the last couple of years, there's always been one roadblock or another.
Mm-hmm.
We've all on, and we've all stayed connected one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all we do. And we just live and we learn, and it knocks us on our knees for a minute. And then once you realize, you're like, okay, all right, well, I can sit here in my in your own little world and just shut everything out, or you can get back up, dust your knees off, and just continue. That's resilience. And that's something we all have, because we aren't.
You made a promise to your uncle.
I made a promise. I mean, I haven't stopped. And I won't. And I know that irks some people. And okay, cool. That's kind of what started my last live stream. And I was like, I usually don't even entertain those types of things.
Well,
but don't question me why are you here then? Why are you doing this? I don't freaking know. But it's a promise I made, if you want to know.
I tell everybody, everyone is, the channel, the open channel that I have Everyone is welcome, but not everybody,
I get it. No, I get it, and it makes sense, Thank you, AKA the cat lady.
In other words, my channel is not for everyone, but everyone is welcome.
Right. Not everybody's gonna like it, but yeah, scroll and roll. That's what I say.
Well,
What just what's the point of I mean, maybe they're not being maybe it's me taking it out of context, like why do I keep going over basically the same things over and over again, right? And again, it's to me, I don't look at it as insanity. I'm not trying to get a different result. This is the result. Everybody's dead. There's something that there are 5 lives that cannot be replaced. They cannot come back. It does not breathe life back into them. They are gone. They are forever gone. And so that is the fact of the matter. That is the reality of the situation. Now, since then, what you do with it is the best that you can in representation of them, because that's one way to honor them. That's another way to, like you taught me, is to get justice through understanding. And I do my due diligence to understand this thing. It's not to piss people off. It's not to break their shells. It's not to be a bitch. It is to get questions. I mean, to answer questions that I've had, that a lot of people had, because my family is not the only family affected by this type of extremism, behavior, whatever the hell, this stuff. So we're now part of that family, and nobody wants to be over here in this club, this family. Nobody. We don't want anybody else to have to come over to this side, right? You have a brother that was murdered. You understand. It's just, you don't really know how you will react. You can say how you will. I would do this. I would do that. You really don't know. No. And we're all different. We're all different.
I'm just trying to remember the date it was that Archie and Thomas was given to Lori, and how much time went by before her trial.
Say that again. Wait, what?
When Archie and Thomas became Lori's attorney, wanted a speedy trial. How long were they on her team before the trial came?
That was May of 2021. I know that because that was one of the worst times of my life. May 2021, right as the indictments were, the grand jury issued the indictments, they dropped, it all happened in one swoop. And so that's something we are going to revisit. And so get ready for those documents and stuff to just revisit and just kind of muddle through them and get some clarity, but so that's whenever and so at the same time, she didn't even get charged yet. And then she was quote unquote incompetent. And somebody put it as competency camp. I was like, that's funny. Anyway, so she went to the competency camp. She went to the IDHW mental health hospital to allegedly get rehabilitated. Well, so then right at that same time, you have her allegedly getting assigned by her mental health technician on October 5th of 2021. It's the first time I ever went live. It's so crazy. First time I went live and actually streamed that court hearing. That's the same court hearing that they allege in all these documents that Mark Means alleges happened to Lori. Her mental health technician assigned her homework, and her homework was to, get a hold of, perhaps other counsel. And I again, whatever. So this is where I'm like, okay, this is how I learned about the LDS helpline. And I'm like, okay, so whenever SA or whatever happens within the church's, whatever, under the church's belt.
But she called directly to McConkey, didn't she?
But where do you think that LDS helpline goes? Really think about this. And really, with what you know now, the LDS helpline, it patches straight through so that allegedly the McConkey law firm can swoop in. I've seen it so many times. It's happened. It's happening. That's what it's there for, to me. That is so the church allegedly can go in and get and pay these people off. That's another way of silencing victims. And it's a very effective way, by the way. So they can go in and, they're not there to, the helpline is not there to help anybody but the church, ultimately, because these bishops, they call in with these things that happen. Well, this is the same helpline that I believe, this is my conspiracy, whatever, but I believe that's what NH, which was the initials used for Lori's mental health technician, whenever she told her she should seek counsel or whatever. I don't know the terminology right now, but I think that she got her to call the helpline. And then how in the hell do you get, of all people, Daniel McConkey? How? Please tell me that. Riddle me that. And you don't. It's just bullshit, and it stinks. And the thing is, it's not that I'm not team Lori, I'm not team Chad, I'm team justice, and I'm team getting to the bottom of this. And so I mean, that's where I go back to the whole, if the prosecution has a strong enough case and they did their work and they did it ethically, legally, and they did a good job and didn't contaminate things and things like that, and they documented everything, and they don't have a bunch of broken PDF links and audio files and this much of this one and this much of that one. Here, we'll just give you what we want to give you. Or maybe at the very last minute, just, oops, we missed the deadline. So therefore, you got to remove the death penalty. Anything to get that damn church out of the headlines, because they don't want any of this out. Any of it. That's how I feel about that. And to me, it's like, it's even more gross because oh my God, it makes me, I'm starting to stutter. It pisses me off because it's my family's blood that was spilled. Why? And these are answers, questions I've been asking this whole time, and I've been finding answers to them, and I cannot wait to get them out on paper. I mean, and I do. That's all I do is take notes, and I consume this case, and I research all the things. So many people send me things all the time, and they're like, hey, have you seen that? I'm like, yeah, I have. I'm not trying to be like that person that's like, yeah, I've seen it.
It all goes back to Lori. It's Lori.
What?
Lori's the common denominator in all of it.
The church is the common denominator in all of it, in my opinion. That's just me, though.
She wasn't going to church there for a while, though.
She was ducking and dodging, but she was going to temple. Trust me. I'm just saying that's another thing. You've got Melanie Gibb, who's like, acting like she's been knowing her forever. She only knew her since October, and I'm just like, I'm not taking it. I'm not taking her word for it because she's only known her 2 weeks, Yeah, she moved a lot of places. You're dumb. I mean, I'm not you, but I'm talking to Melanie Gibb. I'm like, you're dumb. And if you don't think about it for a second, you're like, wait, she's only known her this long. So it all happened when Melanie freaking Gibb met Lori freaking Vallow, in my opinion, and then hooked Chad and Lori up and then how did that happen? If you go back and listen to Jason Mouw's podcast with Melanie Gibb and Lori Vallow, okay, that's whenever Jason they go over how they met each other. Jason and Lori met each other. And he's like, in walked Jason now. And so he's like, I told you, I got to put you in touch with Melanie Gibb. He did that. And then she put Lori in touch with Chad Daybell. And here we are. So I really think this derives more from David Warwick's, Tom Harrison, Abraham Gigliotti side. But that's me. But I kept this up here. So I want to thank you, AKA the Cat Lady. Thank you so much. And she says, what do you all think of Judge Boyce moving the date forward? That's what I said in the beginning, from the 30th to the 18th for this motion. I thought it was like, all right, let's not even wait. Let's just go ahead and let's do the damn thing, Yeah. What do you think? Are you thinking? Are you there? Wait, I can't hear you if you are talking.
I'm just saying that John Pryor is not thinking of any of these victims. He's not thinking of anything at all.
Mm-mm. And the prosecution's not thinking of anything at all except for prosecuting. They just want their prosecution. That's it. That's just the reality of the justice system. That's why I don't have too much, faith in the justice system. And I'm not demeaning. I can separate. I have had to. I've had to separate and micro compartmentalize and separate the people from their professions, and advocating for this case, because we don't have the same understanding. They have their job. I don't.
Actually, I'm pleased if John Pryor gets taken off the case.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'll get 2 death certified attorneys there, and there ain't going to be none of this bullshit appeal stuff going on.
Look, I'm going to play this real quick. I don't know if we can still hear me, or I don't know if they can still hear us behind it. We don't have to see that anymore. We don't have to hear him if they do boot him. Just saying. I don't know if y'all can hear me behind that, because it's a GIF or a GIF. That's what Maria P says. John Pryor is only thinking about Johnny Walker. Right? Yep. Denicia Rose says, agreed about smart people in this group. That's why I enjoy the times I can catch a live here versus 99% of the other channels that saw the Netflix doc. I know. Right? And think they know everything. I know. There's a lot of you guys who are just troopers or gluttons for punishment. I don't know which one. It's for you to decide. But you guys have, I don't know. I just can never repay you. Honestly, I get so much fulfillment from discussing this with you guys. It's not always fun. It's not ever fun, really, hardly. And I just have to kind of throw something. That's what we have to do. That's how we get through it. So be it.
The only payment I want from you, Kresha, is for you to always be yourself. That's all. I find that of great value.
Done. I'm a nerd. I'm a she nerd.
You're a Louisiana must-ass woman.
Hey, I get it from my mama. Legit. I get it from my mama.
To their little statement that they made.
Oh, yeah. I do have that pulled up to you. So they said, statement from Kay and Larry Woodcock in regards to John Pryor asking to withdraw as Chad Daybell's attorney. Quote, there's nothing in this journey that surprises us anymore. It is what it is, and his trial will be when it happens. It's in the Lord's hands. Who are we to question him? Unquote.
Amen.
Drop the mic, right? Yeah. So it's funny that me and Mom both say it is what it is. I always say that, and she
Do
does
you
too.
think that your mom and dad had more, I don't know, daggers out for Lori than Chad? Or do you think they're like
No, no. I think if anything, if I had to pick, like I'm having to do, you know what I mean? Hypothetical, my hunch is that Larry has had the envies for Chad. I mean, he's just like, because I mean, he's pissed. It smacked the shit out of him. It did all of us, but it just really sucks because watch it. I even watch my parents. I look at my brother. I look at myself sometimes. Every now and then, when I have to go in here, it's about the only time I look at myself. I didn't look in mirrors or nothing for you. I mean, just like everything, whole ass. I jumped into this case, and I say this case. I jumped into why my family was murdered, and all these weird things, and I didn't even know what I was jumping into. I just no protection, just whoop, gone. And I mean, I'm like, oh my God, we've aged. We've missed out on so many things, but we've also, that's the negative, the pros and the cons. And I've gotten so much, again, fulfillment and joy and ambition. You guys drive me. It's the only way. I don't know how families do this without a whole social network rallying around them, around their family, around their murdered loved ones. I don't know.
I would like to think God's got his hand in all of this.
Oh, you bet. You bet. I don't ever doubt that. That's another thing. I don't doubt that ever. It hasn't, helped me increase my faith. I don't even question. I don't even question.
So now it's your time to predict.
I'm with you. I really do think that I'm not going to say it eloquent, but I think that Judge Boyce will remove John Pryor. Now I just wish I knew who was available so we could start deep diving that, to who's available as a death penalty certified attorney. Are there even two available in the state of Idaho currently?
Good possibility they'll take the death penalty off the table, Crusher.
Take it off. I'm just ready to go. They just postponed Lori's trial.
If
I
they
thought about that too, like, oh, hell no.
They should take it away from him and just let them both live and rot in prison.
Just, yeah, here, y'all can call each other all the live long freaking day. Kiss me through the phone. You ever heard that little song, KJ?
I don't think Bubba's going to like
You're
that.
going to have to look it up. I'll look it up and send you the link. Kiss me through the phone.
Bubba won't like that. He won't like Chad doing that.
Yeah, no, well, whatever. Chad is about Chad. That's been hasn't that been apparent since the beginning?
Bubba's going to want to bend Chad over in prison, don't you know?
He's already tired of that ass, okay? Chad's been turned out multiple times. They trick his ass out. Nobody wants him.
He's liable to be like one of those plungers.
Keep bringing shit up. Oh my God. I used to say that about Julie Rowe. I'm like, oh, here comes Julie Rowe. She's like a damn plunger, always bringing shit up.
That's funny.
No, and he's ready to go to a bigger prison where fresh meat. He's ready. Yeah, his portal is ready, locked and loaded. Gross. Anyways,
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna get back to this coffee with KJ stuff and finish up Chad's alibi stuff. I'm not gonna let this play a shit.
If you don't mind, and I know you normally don't, but I was gonna share it the last time, but y'all, KJ, she had, I guess we'll call it part 1 because she's gonna do another part to it. But Chad's alibi, she did a video, and it just really, you know what you did for me? You busted straight. It was like the Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah. Okay. Straight up through Melanie Gibb and David Warwick's bullshit,
They're
their
so
alibis, because
good
they
liars.
suck. That's what you did. I was like, I knew it. I knew it. You know,
Diabolically evil liars.
it's yes. And it's a why. You have to, if you didn't do anything wrong, if you're old man, your other old man, because you were married still, Melanie Gibb and David Warwick. If you're, it just didn't jive. It just does not. It's so insincere, and it's so anything for them to distance themselves and dehumanize the victims just so that they can save their own asses. That's what it's looked like to me this whole time. It's so self-serving. It's not about healing. It's not about doing anything right for the victims ever. Know that.
And
I know y'all see that.
here they go to church and temple as we speak.
Who?
They go to church and temple still.
Yeah. And even if they did get if some of them got excommunicated and or not, they rebaptize even the perverts. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's just, who are you associating with, That's, I mean, is that really godly? Is that Christ-like? Is that right? Is that what Christ looks like to you? Anyways, it just is really egregious. But anyway, I'm putting the link to that video that KJ did. Actually, yeah, but she just, I don't know, she plowed through it. Everything kind of locked in for me, and I was like, yes, it just gave me a lot of clarity. So I was thinking I'm going to keep, I'm trying to do, I juggle a lot of things at the same time. Wasn't expecting this to happen, and then I'm like, okay, now I got to go look over there. Then I got to look over here. It's just, I have no chance in hell of ever being organized, but we do the best we can with what we have to work with.
And you are the best, girl. Don't you forget that.
No, thank you. And they say birds of a feather flock together. That's not always negative.
I love you. I'm fixing to get over here and get in bed and go to sleep.
We appreciate you, and we love your take on things. So I can't wait for you to do anything that you add to the conversation is wanted, needed, and look, it's appreciated. No, please know that.
Well, Maria Thomas, good night. Maria P, good night. JoJo, good night. Grammy B, Jean Marie, Robin Bannister, Jay. We got Marla Thomas.
Thank you, mods.
PC.
Thank you.
We got AKA the Cat Lady, Lisa Hayes. Trace on the Case. Kim DiMaggio.
Rombo.
Hydro. Squeaky Wheel. Just kidding. Lisa Hayes. Scarlett.
Oh, yeah. Here you go. We'll leave on this note right here. Sorry, not trying to scare you guys, but I mean, there you go. But anyways, love always wins. Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe.
And keep on looking.
There you go.